continues here in game one. And Bain all the way to the season out of Santa Clara. Can't not. Pippen, one of the. Shea leans in and kisses it. No good. For a go. Great pass, Hartenstein. Good there. To help him out with a screen. Now Shea, who's an XJ, got the block on Edey. By Memphis. Fired at the end of March. Morant. Gilgeous Alexander. And this is games 5 50-point games. Aaron Jackson Jr. Misfire on the 3. No. Good box out by in the face. Not sure. Hartenstein with a floater. Hartenstein. Jackson was open in the coast. Missed the shot.
Incredible reaction by Chet Holmgren on the.
Edey got position down low. And now Dort. Buried. And 41% from out there. Floor goes through the lane, puts it up. Ashley Kent, she's an assistant. Deep 3, and it's an air ball.
You don't see. Okay.
Ashley Kerr is her name, not Ashley. This is so much trouble. Nice pass by.
They're doing it, but you better make sure the Bigs can't because they've got to take it all the way.
Basketball, so he trained Isaiah to consistent shot to get off over top of big defenders.
For Morant, got the defender off his feet, penetrates, attacking Bagley, strip. And again, that ankle looks fine, just like it did.
So you're able to get into the paint where.
Floor. Aldama missed the tip draw by Shea. Holmgren then.
Take this every day of the week because when you've been off this long.
And they're Bain on the drive, flips it up, and with 2 of 3. Holmgren the last 7 points, but Shea will shoot it.
By Aldama, so you defend the screener. Catches Shea in the lower. I thought his killer instinct this year was better.
Defense has been outstanding for Oklahoma. Here's Joe for 3. Got it! See how the Grizz survived at the front iron. Conchar hits the floor.
He simply to take the pressure off.
Jackson says there was pressure for him to.
Looking for some help. Spot up 3. Bain hit.
A decent percentage.
The 7th best in NBA. Bodies hit the floor. They're going to call jail. The LIN is checking out. Caruso. Yeah, the fact they have 20 points. And Jaren Jackson Jr. trying.
And jump hook.
Jalen Wood.
On every possession.
Wallace attacking and fast break points in favor of. Challenged, gets the lane against Golden State, losing the.
Less likely to do that in the postseason.
And that's going to be a shot clock violation.
Try to reload that against this defense the way.
Against wide open, buries up, blading for Memphis. Not Vince, same spot, same.
And right now, the Thunder just.
Everybody getting into the act here for the Thunder. Possession opportunity, showtime. Certainly has the firepower to make up its of 7. Driving, lost the ball. Interim, he went 4 and 5. When Conchar comes up short. Oh, Williams, great dish. Hartenstein.
Once it comes out to the perimeter.
Hartenstein and Williams just
miss with the rest. This is it.
Rest over
for a little 6-footer for Hartenstein.
Tuesday and then on Friday, Hartenstein. There's the teardrop.
Those pockets are too far for
6 minutes to go in the half. To have a look at the upcoming NBA.
What a game. I thought that
very interesting series beginning tonight. 3 spins out, offensive rounds. They let Wiggins sneak in there. Williams stops at the foul line, pops it.
Williams, Caruso, whoever wants.
For 16 from deep. He was 7 of 7 before. In steals. Wiggins, the lob.
Oh! In the open floor, electric.
Then Seattle Supersonics.
And they still have 63.
Great ball movement in the first half. 2, that would be Wiggins and Hartenstein. As a foul is called here, Jackson got the best 3-point shooters in the league.
Yeah, and on the team, it does it at a high rate.
Your Memphis, you were dreaming about as everybody else is killing you. He's missed his
defense is what did.
And Bagley able to from Jalen Williams. Gilgeous out.
2 free ones to end the half.
And you could hear he has more.
Well, guys, Chet Holmgren says sense of knowing what to expect. That
all-time great offensive talent. John Morant had 11 points, but he was
against this level defense. Inject yourself into this series.
Thunder players with 14. Dort.
It's already 5 points off second shots.
On the floor, the floater from SG. Timeout. Shea Gilgeous Alexander. Oklahoma City, best record.
Lead defensive team in Orlando. In Orlando, they only give up 30.
Putback, just his 2nd rebound. Finally left alone in front of the Thunder bench. Jackson. Not sure.
With the team very long, hasn't played much. He's 4
fine minutes, and now he is.
And everything that Mark
got some rebounders, so he. Let's check in
with your locker room, because he gets a club for 3 years, and that's a compliment.
It's part of their calling card as a team.
At the top of the organization, Sam Presti. Calhoun is a manager coached the Oklahoma City Blue years ago. Dort under. Bagley inside gets the.
He's taken 4 uncontested foot off the gas, as you would expect here.
To Aldama. And on Jalen Williams. Shea moves it to Holmgren to let it fly. That's good.
Level, typically, if you make any
Morant foul.
You're dealing with on the perimeter, then you've got 10 picks, because that's where
this margin of victory and a playoff
point deficit. You know, you think you had 4
great wins overall by Oklahoma. Some bad habits at the end of game.
Offensive success here to close out the, but nobody to more.
2 key defensive guys. Jalen Bagley underneath gets the
offensive player every night as a deep.
Vince Williams lobbed, and Bagley smart in that play by Shea. He's one of the best execs
Across the board of their top to put pressure on teams with this.
Also happened in '86. Lakers, Spurs.
You know, you're talking about a team in Memphis in this game.
Where were they? Joe penetrated to Aldama. His 3 is good officially for Memphis. Jackson got it. Wiggins 3 off target. Thunder. Jalen Williams. Char with a rebound. Luke Kennard has checked. Lamar Stevens inside.
NBA selection. Tatum does at the level that he does.
Brown, Finals MVP last year, was 52 in this game. That is the best in NBA.
Burst to close the first quarter.
Kennard missed it for Memphis. Now he's
going to appeal to your pride more as a player into game 2.
Lakers for the 3. As manager and ownership, it's going to be a very Huff. He'll get the layup in transition
to escape. Then years ago, when this was a team,
and
it'll particularly in the first half about what they're capable of defending.
The largest margin of victory ever in a playoff.
And that's going to be all about that.
They beat Memphis
coming down the stretch. You think about it, they would have had to win on Friday night, and they
on the move, breaking down the defense. Just
of experience. There's no other way to learn it other than
16. Kevin Durant's final year last. Players on that roster that have been in the postseason.
Detroit, one of the great 40 minutes to position themselves.
Largest margin of victory ever. Dubious list. Out of bounds was Jones in a game this season. Prior to, certainly not today, NBA play. Minnesota with like that team that went to the conference
all night.
Wiggins, Conchar inside, and Rich Williams, year 7, off the top. Now the points came early on. Wiggins, who was won the regular season at Utah late, like this, knowing you got to get 3 more.
And get complacent or overly impressed to the coaching staff, and I think the individual.
Steven Tuesday night, nice pass by Kennard. Got a 3.
Sort of falling out of the rotation here to give him more minutes going forward. This defense.
Well, certainly something has to change a lineup for something else. Not sure it'll 3 in it NBA history. And this is a
4-0 in game 2. So play with some level of confidence at the start of game.
Aaron Wiggins with 20, and perhaps the team to beat in a game 1 in NBA history. Chance of Oak.
With this level of intensity.
Katie has more.
Well, guys, Chet Holmgren says playoff games. Holmgren says there's a sense of knowing what to expect.
Through that. Now they were playing against 2 all-time great offensive talents. Jackson 1 rebound and 2 points. John Morant had 11 points, but he was
offensively that the rest of their roster can't against this level defense. Or than the other 2. You've got to eject yourself into this series.
And it was 14 points, one of 3 Thunder players with 14. Dort.
If pride was going to kick in at halftime, that's already 5 points off second shots.
Here's Shea putting it on the floor. The floater from SG. And a turnover out of the timeout. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Coming up next, Boston and Orlando. Oklahoma City, best record.
And they begin against an elite defensive team in Orlando. Fewer threes against a team in Orlando. They only give up 30.
For Morant, Jaren Jackson missed the putback, just his 2nd rebound. 5-7. Dort left alone in front of the Thunder bench. Jackson, not sure.
Against Dallas, and he hasn't really been with the team very long. Hasn't played much. He
bounced around early on, just trying to find minutes, and now he is
with the way he played in New York and everything that Mark
over. Dort waits, got some rebounders, so he. Let's check in with
acclimating to your locker room. There's something wrong with your locker room because he gets the same way. You think those two have been with this club for 3 years, and that's a compliment.
day in the NBA.
Yeah, it's part of their calling card as a team.
Chemistry. It starts at the top of the organization. Sam Presti was with Jim Calhoun as a manager at our head coach here with the Thunder to coach the Oklahoma City Blue, the Coach of the Year last year, runner-up 2 years ago.
Darted out. That's what you're seeing out of the Thunder.
Bagley inside gets the
Grant to occupy the left wing because he's taken 4 uncontested. OKC not going to take their foot off the gas as you would expect here.
Through the third quarter of game 1. Bane underneath to Aldama. And offensive rebound, Jalen Williams. Shea moves it to it. Holmgren to let it fly. That's good.
And that elbow is at head level. Typically, if you make any
lead. Morant, foul.
You've got all the ball pressure you're dealing with on the perimeter. Then you've got to be much more educated on the top 10 picks because that's where we were.
In case you're wondering, the largest margin of victory in a playoff.
We're headed there right now with a 51-point deficit. You know, you think you had 4, and they've doubled that up.
9 straight wins overall by all of a sudden get too loose and develop some bad habits at the end of game.
Some of these guys have a little bit of offensive success here to close out the other great defensive teams in this league, Dave, but nobody more.
And when you're Memphis trying to get stops, you're down 2 key defensive guys. Jalen, player in the rotation, he's out as well. Bagley underneath gets the
being handed the #1 perimeter offensive player every night as a defense.
Now 1 of 10. Vince Williams lobbed, and Bagley read lips there saying smart in that play by Shea. Only 47 years old. He's one of the best execs.
With the age across the board of their top, they understand they could continue to put pressure on teams with this.
The Orlando Magic against Boston also happened in '86. Lakers, Spurs.
See how dominant OKC has been today. You know, you're talking about a team in Memphis have a single fast break point today in this game.
Where would
they stay true to their core values as a team?
Joe penetrated, Pippen on the run. Scoop to Aldama. His 3 is good. First fast break points officially for Memphis at this point. Jackson got it today. Wiggins 3 off target here at Oklahoma City. Thunder. Jalen Williams. Mitchell's 3 off the front iron, and Conchar with a rebound. Luke Kennard has checked. Lamar Stevens inside.
I think is headed for a first-team All-NBA selection. In game out, produced the way Jason Tatum does at the level that he does, we're able to accomplish.
And Jaylen Brown, Finals MVP last year. They've led by as many as 52 in this game. Their season was 12.9. That is the best in NBA from there.
Yeah, OKC hit him with that burst to close the first quarter offensively to give them a chance in this game.
Kennard missed it. Izalo, the interim head coach for Memphis. Now he's coached
this because I think nothing is going to appeal to your pride more as a player that you're going to need going into game 2.
Just 2 behind the Lakers for the 3. As for Zach Kleiman, the general manager and ownership, it's going to be a very Williams with the steal, knocking it away from Huff. He'll get the layup in transition.
That forced them into the play in which they were able to escape. They're far away from where they were a few years ago when this was a team
is not going anywhere. And
it'll be able to find something like that today, particularly in the first half. And this, to me, was more about what they're capable of defense.
5-point lead, largest of the game. Again, the largest margin of victory ever in a playoff. What do you make of the Warriors-Rockets series?
And that's going to be all about that place with the acquisition of Jimmy Butler.
They beat Memphis.
It's had a great year, and they really played well coming down the stretch. You think about with 6 seconds to go, then they would have had to win on Friday night. And they
in Houston tonight. Wiggins on the move, breaking down the defense. Just
definitely a progression in terms of experience. There's no other way to learn it other than
last conference finals 2016, Kevin Durant's final year, last poise, and Detroit does have some players on that roster that have been in the postseason, been in that situation before in the postseason.
Detroit, one of the great stories, and they couldn't have done more for 40 minutes to position themselves.
It's 124-69, largest margin of victory ever for Memphis. They don't want to be in that dubious list. Out of bounds was Jones. The fewest points he scored in a game this season. Prior to
heavy lifting.
Certainly not today. NBA play again. Minnesota with they flip Randall for Towns. They looked like that team that went to the conference.
Minnesota was in rhythm all night.
Wiggins.
Last basket too.
Conchar inside and Kenrich Williams. Year 7. Corner 3. Conchar. Off the top buzzer by Marvin Bagley. Another of 6 from 3. Almost all his points came early on. Wiggins, who was once at 35 points in a game in the regular season at Utah late from game 1 to game 2 after a win like this, knowing you got to get 3 more.
Look, his team stays ready and doesn't get complacent or overly impressed. Truly a testament to the coaching staff and I think the individual.
Steven, 5 to go in game 1, game 2, Tuesday night. Nice pass by Kennard. Got a 3.
What the reason is for Luke Kennard sort of falling out of the rotation here, I don't know if there's a plan to give him more minutes going forward. Often, you're not going to get much time against this defense.
Well, certainly something has to rotation, shift in the starting lineup or something else. Not sure it'll streak. Largest margin of victory in it. NBA his figures most ever. And this is a 4.
It's starting at 0-0 in game 2. So forward and come out and play with some level of confidence at the start of game.
Aaron Wiggins with 20 in the league during the regular season. And perhaps the team to beat in a game 1 in NBA history. 1986 and 1995. Game 1. Chance of in Oklahoma City.